Have you ever met someone who said, "It's too late for me"? They look at their age, their past failures, or missed opportunities and give up before even starting. But let me tell you something powerful today. Success does not read your birth certificate. It doesn't care if you're 16 or 60. The only thing it recognizes is your daily effort. People often tie success to time. They say, "I'm too young to be taken seriously," or "I'm too old to start something new." These are not truths. They're excuses disguised as wisdom. The world has tricked many of us into believing that success comes with a particular age tag, like a product on a shelf. But success doesn't check your birth certificate. It doesn't care if you started at 20 or 60. What it does care about is how hard you are willing to work, how consistently you show up, and how deeply you believe in your vision. Age is a number. Effort is the real currency of achievement. The truth is, you can start building your dreams at any point in life if you are willing to invest your daily energy, focus, and discipline. Look around you. Some of the brightest minds and biggest dreamers started when others said it was too late. The real difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not timing, it's courage. Courage to start when others have stopped. Courage to try again when people tell you it's useless. Think about this. A young person with no experience but endless determination can outgrow an older person full of experience but empty of effort. And at the same time, an older person with wisdom, patience, and persistence can surpass thousands of younger ones who only dream but never act. Success doesn't measure years. It measures energy, focus, and persistence. The world rewards effort, not excuses, not fear, not hesitation. The idea that your time has passed is one of the most dangerous lies society tells. People retire mentally before they ever retire physically. They stop dreaming because they start counting their age instead of their actions. But there are countless examples of people who began late and still made an impact that shook the world. Why? Because life does not stop offering opportunities. We just stop reaching for them. The only real deadline is the one we create in our minds. When you believe you are too late, your belief becomes your barrier. But when you decide you're right on time, your energy changes. Suddenly, you start seeing possibilities instead of limitations. That shift in mindset is what separates those who age into regrets from those who age into legends. Success is not a race of speed, it's a test of endurance. You don't have to sprint, you just have to keep moving. The person who works a little every single day will always be ahead of the one who works a lot once in a while. Some people stop because they think they missed their chance. Others never start because they think it's not their turn yet. But success doesn't arrive according to your calendar. It arrives when you've built enough strength, enough skill, and enough patience to handle it. Every step you take toward your goal, no matter how late you think it is, brings you closer than standing still ever will. It's not about how soon you start. It's about how long you keep going. Age can actually become your advantage. If you're young, you have energy, curiosity, and time to experiment. If you're older, you have wisdom, patience, and experience. Both have power. The question is, are you using it? Youth is wasted when it's not directed. Experience is wasted when it's not applied. The universe doesn't reward potential. It rewards effort in motion. If you use what you have today, your skills, your insight, your energy, you will always find a way to create value. It's not too early, and it's never too late. What truly matters is that you begin and that you continue. Every sunrise is a reminder that time hasn't given up on you. So don't give up on yourself. Let's be honest. People love to say, maybe later, because it's easier than saying, I'm afraid. They delay their dreams until they feel ready, but readiness never arrives fully formed. Success is not about being ready. It's about being willing. Willing to learn, willing to fail, willing to start over, willing to push through. You can't build success with someday. You build it with today. The older you get, the less time you have to waste, and the younger you are, the more time you have to prepare. Either way, your age gives you something valuable: perspective. It tells you that time moves whether you use it or not. So why not make it move in your favor? At the end of the day, success is not a privilege of the young or the old. It is the reward of the persistent. It belongs to those who continue learning, adapting, and improving themselves no matter what stage of life they are in. The real limitation isn't your age. It's your effort, your discipline, your hunger. There are 20-year-olds who have already given up on life and 60-year-olds who are just getting started. The clock on your wall can only measure time. It cannot measure your potential. If you are alive, breathing, and dreaming, you are still in the race. The question is, will you keep running or will you stop because someone told you you're too early or too late? Remember, success doesn't follow age. It follows action. Most people dream of success the way they dream of miracles. Something that happens suddenly, like lightning from the sky. They imagine that one big opportunity, one right connection, or one stroke of luck will transform their lives forever. But life doesn't work that way. Success isn't built in a day. It's built daily. It's built quietly in the early mornings when nobody sees you. In the late nights when you're still learning while others sleep. Success is the result of invisible effort. Consistent, small improvements that the world ignores until one day it cannot ignore you anymore. Working on yourself daily is the most powerful investment you can ever make. Think of yourself as a tree. You can't water a tree once and expect it to grow. You can't say, I learned everything this weekend and expect to succeed for the next 10 years. Growth requires daily nurturing. You water the tree every day, even when the soil looks dry and the sky looks empty. The same goes for your skills, your mindset, your goals. The greatest mistake people make is confusing movement with progress. They rush, they multitask, they do 1,000 things, but they rarely grow. Real progress happens not when you do more, but when you improve yourself more. You see, the world rewards people who are consistent, not those who are occasionally excellent. Anyone can be motivated for a week. The real challenge is to stay committed for a year, for a decade, for a lifetime. The difference between dreamers and doers is not intelligence, not talent, not luck. It's daily discipline. Every day you work on yourself, you are building invisible muscles. You may not see the change immediately, but it's happening. Every page you read, every hour you practice, every challenge you face, it's all preparing you for the opportunity that's on its way. You won't rise when the opportunity comes unless you've been rising daily before it arrives. Most people quit because they don't see instant results. They plant a seed and expect fruit the next morning. When it doesn't happen, they say, maybe this isn't for me. But that's not how life works. The universe tests your patience before it gives you rewards. It wants to see if you're willing to grow even when no one's watching. If you're willing to believe even when you can't yet see the results. Working on yourself daily means trusting the process even when progress feels invisible. Because real growth is often silent, just like the roots of a tree growing underground before the first leaf ever appears. Working on yourself daily is not just about learning new skills, it's also about unlearning old habits. Every day, you must fight the laziness that whispers, you can skip today. Every day, you must silence the voice that says, it doesn't matter. Because it does matter. Every small decision adds up. Every book you read or ignore, every practice session you skip or complete, every morning you rise or roll back into bed. The smallest decisions, repeated daily, shape the largest results. Winners understand that self-work is not a one-time event, it's a lifelong routine. They treat every day as a classroom, every mistake as a lesson, and every obstacle as a teacher. Another truth is that self-work compounds over time. The results of your daily efforts may look small now, but they multiply quietly. Just like money grows with interest, effort grows with consistency. You won't notice the change every day, but 6 months later, 1 year later, people will ask, how did you get so good? And your answer will be simple. I worked on myself when no one was watching. There's nothing magical about success. It's the natural result of repeated effort. You don't need to move mountains. You just need to push your small stone every single day. And one day, you'll realize that the mountain has moved. The beauty of working on yourself daily is that it gives you control. You can't control the world, the economy, or other people, but you can always control your effort, your learning, your attitude. Every day you improve, you become stronger than yesterday. That's why success is never luck. It's the accumulation of small, disciplined actions. While others waste their days complaining, you're preparing. While others are distracted, you're focused. While others are waiting for motivation, you're building momentum. The difference doesn't appear overnight. It appears over time, quietly and undeniably. When you work on yourself daily, you start to notice something powerful. Your self-respect grows. You begin to trust yourself more. You stop depending on others to push you because your own habits push you forward. You stop needing applause because your growth itself becomes your reward. You develop something rare and unshakable, self-confidence built from self-discipline. And that confidence cannot be borrowed, bought, or faked. It can only be earned through the daily grind. So remember this, the person you are today is the result of what you've been doing every day until now. And the person you will become a year from now will be the result of what you start doing today. If you want to change your life, don't wait for the weekend, the new year, or the right time. Start with one small action today and repeat it tomorrow and the next day and the next. The most powerful force in the world is daily improvement. The truth is simple. Successful people are not born different. They are built daily. They fall, they fail, they learn, and they get better every single day. They don't chase perfection, they chase progress. That's the real secret. It's not about how much you do in one day. It's about what you do every day that truly changes everything. When most people hear the word failure, they immediately think of defeat. They think it means the end, the final chapter of a lost story. But failure is not the end. It's the beginning of understanding. It's life's way of teaching you lessons that success could never teach. The truth is, success is a terrible teacher. It makes you comfortable, it feeds your ego, and it blinds you to your weaknesses. But failure humbles you, shapes you, and introduces you to the version of yourself that you didn't know existed. Every great journey has its dark tunnel, and failure is that tunnel. Those who keep walking through it eventually find the light at the end, while those who turn back keep walking in circles of regret. You see, failure is not a signal to stop. It's a message to adjust. When something doesn't work, life isn't saying, "You're not good enough." It's saying, "There's a better way." Think of failure as a mirror. It reflects your mistakes, your weak spots, and your missed opportunities. Most people hate that reflection, so they run away from it. But the wise ones, they look closely. They study their reflection. They face the discomfort, and they use it to grow. They don't let failure break their spirit. They let it build their wisdom. Every failed attempt brings you one step closer to knowing what actually works. Failure doesn't destroy success, it designs it. Let me tell you something. Every person who has ever achieved anything great has a long list of failures hidden behind their success. But they never stopped. They were laughed at, rejected, doubted, and sometimes completely ignored. But instead of quitting, they used failure as fuel. When doors closed, they built new ones. When plans failed, they made better ones. Success doesn't happen because you avoid failure. It happens because you learn how to walk through it without losing your fire. Every no you hear, every mistake you make, every fall you experience, it's a test. Not a test of intelligence, but a test of resilience. Failure teaches you patience, something that instant success never could. It teaches you to respect the process. You start to understand that growth takes time, just like seeds take time to turn into trees. When you fail, you learn that shortcuts only lead to dead ends. You realize that real progress is not about doing things fast, it's about doing things right. Failure also builds emotional strength. It teaches you to handle pain, criticism, and doubt. These are qualities that separate the weak from the strong, the talkers from the doers. Because, let's face it, everyone wants success, but only a few can survive the storms that lead to it. Here's the truth: failure hurts. It makes you question yourself. It can make you feel lost, embarrassed, even hopeless. But pain is not your enemy. It's your mentor. When you touch fire, it burns, but it also teaches you not to touch it again. Similarly, when you fail, you learn lessons that no book, no lecture, and no advice could ever give you. Pain gives you perspective. It teaches you that failure is not a sign of weakness. It's proof that you tried. The only people who never fail are the ones who never attempt anything meaningful. And if you're failing, it means you're doing something most people are too scared to even start. What most people don't realize is that every failure carries a seed of success inside it. The key is to look for that seed instead of crying over the fall. When you fail, don't ask, why me? Ask, what now? Failure becomes fatal only when you stop learning from it. But when you use it to sharpen your thinking, your strategy, and your character, it transforms into your greatest strength. You start to see patterns, recognize mistakes faster, and make smarter decisions. You begin to operate on experience, not just enthusiasm. That's what makes failure powerful. It gives you wisdom that success alone could never provide. Another thing failure teaches you is humility. Success can make people arrogant, but failure reminds you that you're human. It teaches you empathy, because once you've been at the bottom, you understand the struggles of others trying to rise. It makes you more grounded, more grateful, and more focused. The most successful people are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who know how to fall, learn, and rise again without losing their faith. They treat every failure as a teacher, not as a punishment. That mindset, the ability to keep learning from loss, is what keeps them unstoppable. So, every time you fail, remember this failure is not pushing you away from success. It's guiding you toward it. Each rejection refines your direction. Each mistake sharpens your understanding. Failure doesn't mean you're unworthy. It means you're in progress. It means you're testing, learning, and growing. The pain you feel today will one day become the wisdom you'll use to inspire others. And one day, when people see your success, they'll call you lucky, not realizing that your luck was nothing more than failure after failure turned into lessons, and lessons turned into growth. So don't fear failure, befriend it. Listen to what it's trying to teach you. Because behind every failure, there's a message. Behind every setback, there's strength. Behind every fall, there's a rise waiting to happen. Failure is not your enemy. It's your most honest mentor. The one that doesn't flatter you, doesn't lie to you, and doesn't let you settle. It breaks you only to rebuild you stronger. One of the biggest reasons people lose focus in life is because they spend their energy looking sideways instead of forward. We live in a world where comparison is everywhere, on social media, in schools, at work, even within families. Everyone is trying to outshine someone else. You see someone else's achievements, their house, their car, their job, their lifestyle, and suddenly your own progress feels too small. But here's the truth: comparison kills joy. It turns your journey into a race you were never meant to run. You are not here to be better than anyone else. You are here to be better than who you were yesterday. Every person you meet is walking a completely different road. You don't know their struggles, their sacrifices, or their silent battles. Comparing your chapter 2 to someone else's chapter 20 is unfair to yourself. Just because someone else is ahead today doesn't mean you'll never get there. It simply means they started earlier or took a different path. Life is not a race of speed. It's a test of direction. The goal is not to be the fastest. It's to be the most consistent in your own lane. When you stop comparing, you free yourself from the noise of others' opinions, and you finally begin to hear the voice of your own purpose. You see, the real competition is invisible. It's you versus you. Every morning, when you wake up, look in the mirror and ask, am I a little better than I was yesterday? If the answer is yes, you're already winning. Growth doesn't always mean big leaps. Sometimes it's as small as reading one page, learning one new thing, or choosing patience when you used to react. Success is not a sudden explosion. It's the quiet accumulation of small daily improvements. That's why competing with yourself is the smartest strategy, because you control the variables. You decide how much effort to give, how much discipline to build, and how much progress to pursue. When you chase others, you exhaust yourself trying to meet their standards. But when you chase your own improvement, you empower yourself to create your own standards. Think about athletes who run a marathon. The best runners focus on their rhythm, their breath, their pace, not on the person beside them. The moment they start looking sideways, they lose balance. They slow down, and sometimes they fall. Life works the same way. The moment you start measuring your progress through someone else's lens, you lose sight of your own rhythm. Focus on your lane, run your race, trust your pace. Comparing yourself to others leads to two dangerous emotions: envy and arrogance. When you compare and feel behind, you become envious. When you compare and feel ahead, you become arrogant. Both poison your growth. Envy drains your energy and blinds you to your blessings. Arrogance makes you complacent and stops you from learning. But when you compete only with yourself, you stay grounded and hungry at the same time. You appreciate how far you've come, and you stay excited about how much farther you can go. The secret of real growth is humility mixed with ambition, being grateful for progress, but never satisfied enough to stop improving. Working on yourself daily means tracking your own evolution, not someone else's timeline. You can't control when others succeed, but you can always control how much effort you give today. Some people will rise faster, some slower, and that's perfectly fine. Life is not meant to be synchronized. What matters is that you keep moving. There's a beautiful peace that comes when you stop competing with others. A peace that allows you to focus all your strength on your own potential. You realize that success is not limited like a pie, where one person's slice takes away from yours. The world is big enough for everyone who dares to grow. When you compete with your yesterday, you become a lifelong learner. You begin to look inward, not outward, for validation. You stop waiting for applause because your progress itself becomes your motivation. You start seeing every day as an opportunity to improve your thoughts, your discipline, your kindness, your skills. And slowly, you transform from being just another competitor in the crowd to being a creator of your own path. This mindset builds resilience, because when you stop comparing, failure doesn't discourage you. It teaches you. Someone else's success doesn't threaten you. It inspires you. You stop reacting and start evolving. So don't measure your worth by someone else's success story. Measure it by your persistence, your courage, your growth. Every day you get up and push yourself a little further. You're winning, even if no one notices. The quiet victories, the invisible progress, the personal breakthroughs, those are the moments that define real success. Competing with yourself turns life into a journey of constant discovery. You begin to realize that success isn't about being the best in the world. It's about being the best version of yourself for the world. When you finally understand this, comparison loses its power over you. You stop rushing, you stop doubting, you stop pretending, you start living with focus, gratitude, and authenticity. You no longer chase recognition, you chase improvement. You no longer seek approval, you seek progress. You no longer ask, am I better than them? You ask, am I better than I was? That single shift in mindset changes everything. Because once you start competing with your yesterday, you'll never be distracted by anyone's today. Everyone has dreams. Some dream of wealth, some dream of success, some dream of freedom. But dreams alone have never built empires. The world is full of dreamers who never wake up to do the work. What separates a dreamer from a door is not talent, not luck, not intelligence. It's discipline. Discipline is the invisible bridge between your imagination and your achievement. It's the daily decision to keep walking when excitement fades, when motivation dies, and when no one is watching. Dreams give you direction, but discipline gives you distance. Without it, even the most brilliant ideas collapse before they cross the finish line. You see, motivation is easy. It comes in waves. You feel inspired for a few days, maybe a few weeks, but discipline is different. Discipline doesn't depend on mood. It's doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. It's waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. It's practicing your craft when no one claps for you. It's saying no to distractions that offer short-term pleasure but steal long-term growth. The truth is, successful people are not always the most talented. They are simply the most consistent. They show up every day, even when it's boring, even when it's hard, even when they fail. That's what builds greatness, not bursts of effort, but the quiet repetition of right actions. Discipline is the art of training yourself to obey your vision instead of your emotions. Your emotions will betray you. They will tell you to quit when it's hard, to rest when it's time to work, to doubt yourself when things don't go as planned. But discipline silences those voices. It says, I will keep going, no matter how I feel. That mindset creates unstoppable momentum because emotions fluctuate, but habits stay. If you build the right habits, Your habits will carry you even on the days when your motivation can't. Think of discipline as the pilot that keeps the airplane flying straight through turbulence. Without it, you crash before reaching your destination. Most people admire success, but very few are willing to pay the price it demands. They see the reward, not the routine behind it. They see the performance, not the practice. But every master was once a beginner who refused to give up. Every great athlete, every artist, every entrepreneur, they built their success one disciplined day at a time. They didn't rely on luck. They relied on structure. They didn't wait for the perfect moment. They created progress through imperfect consistency. And here's the thing. Discipline doesn't remove struggle. It gives meaning to it. It transforms pain into progress, chaos into control, and effort into excellence. There's something powerful about a person who stays committed even when no one believes in them. Discipline turns loneliness into focus. When others party, you're preparing. When others waste time, you're working. When others say, it's too hard, you say, just one more try. That's the mindset that builds legends. Not magic, not miracles, just daily discipline. Because discipline creates compound growth. Every small action, repeated daily, multiplies over time. You may not see it now, but one day you'll look back and realize how far those tiny steps took you. The ones who give up too early will call you lucky, not realizing that your luck was nothing more than your discipline disguised. Discipline also teaches self-respect. When you keep your promises to yourself, you build trust with your own mind. You start believing in your own power. You no longer need others to motivate you. You become your own source of strength. Each time you follow through on a commitment, you send a message to yourself, I am dependable. And when you truly believe that, you become unstoppable. The world respects those who can control themselves, because discipline isn't just about productivity. It's about power. The power to say no to what doesn't matter. The power to choose progress over comfort. The power to stay patient when results are still invisible. The truth is, discipline feels difficult only until it becomes part of you. At first, it's uncomfortable. Your body resists, your mind complains. But after a while, what once felt like a burden becomes your rhythm. Discipline becomes your identity. It stops feeling like sacrifice and starts feeling like purpose. You no longer say, I have to do this. You say, I get to do this. That's the point when success becomes inevitable. Because when discipline becomes your nature, results become your reward. The people who keep waiting for motivation will still be waiting, but the ones who choose discipline will already be winning. Understand this, success doesn't care how you feel today. It only cares what you do today. You can't control your emotions, but you can always control your effort. And every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're one step closer to your goals. Dreams are beautiful, but they're only seeds. Without discipline, they remain buried in the soil of potential. But when you water them daily with effort, consistency, and sacrifice, they bloom into reality. That's the secret of success. Not doing big things occasionally, but doing small things faithfully every single day. So, if you truly want to cross the bridge between dreams and results, don't wait for motivation. Build habits. Stay disciplined. Let others be driven by moods. You be driven by mission. Because in the end, it's not your dreams that define you. It's your discipline that delivers them. The world never stops moving. Technology changes, people change, economies change. Everything around us keeps evolving every single day. But the tragedy is that many people stop evolving long before life asks them to. They stop learning once they get a degree. Stop growing once they get a job. Stop dreaming once they face a few failures. And then they wonder why life feels stuck. The truth is simple. The world rewards learners, not complainers. The moment you stop learning, you start losing. Because success belongs not to the strongest or the smartest, but to those who keep adapting, adjusting, and improving as the world moves forward. You see, complaining is easy. Learning is hard. Complaining makes you feel right for a moment, but learning makes you better for a lifetime. People complain about problems, but problems are what create opportunities for growth. Every challenge carries a hidden lesson. Every difficulty carries a hidden gift, but you can only find it if you are curious enough to learn from it. Life doesn't punish those who fail. It punishes those who refuse to learn from failure. You cannot evolve if you keep making the same mistakes and blaming others for the results. Growth starts the moment you stop saying, "Why me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" Learning is not something that ends when you leave school. That's where it begins. The most successful people in the world are not those who know everything. They are those who are always willing to know more. They read, they listen, they ask, they observe. They learn from books, from people, from failures, from experiences, even from their enemies. They treat life like a university with no graduation date. Every situation becomes a classroom. Every mistake becomes a teacher. And every new day becomes a lesson. Because they understand something profound. If you stop learning, you stop leading. The moment you think you know it all is the exact moment you begin to fall. The reason learning is powerful is because it keeps you relevant. The world is changing faster than ever. Skills that were valuable 10 years ago are outdated today. Jobs that exist today might disappear tomorrow. But if you keep evolving, you will never become irrelevant. You'll always find your place because your mind will always be ready to adapt. It's not about chasing every trend. It's about staying curious, flexible, and open-minded. Those who resist change complain about it. Those who embrace change grow through it. Evolution is not a threat. It's an invitation to become a better version of yourself than yesterday. And here's something most people don't realize. Learning is not just about collecting knowledge. It's about transforming your mindset. Many people know a lot, but apply very little. Real learning happens when knowledge turns into action. When you learn something and use it to improve your habits, your thinking, or your decisions, that's when you evolve. You don't grow by watching, you grow by doing. Even the smallest new lesson, when practiced daily, reshapes your character. You don't have to learn everything at once. Just learn something new each day. The more you learn, the more confident you become. The more confident you become, the more unstoppable you get. Complaining, on the other hand, weakens you. It makes you focus on what's wrong instead of what's possible. Complainers talk about problems, learners talk about solutions. Complainers wait for change, learners create it. When something doesn't go your way, you have two choices. You can complain and stay where you are, or you can learn and move forward. Every time you choose to learn instead of complain, you grow stronger. You take control of your future. You turn pain into power. And over time, that mindset of continuous learning builds a life that no setback can destroy. Because as long as you keep evolving, no failure is final. Evolution also brings humility. When you keep learning, you realize how much you still don't know. You become open to feedback, to correction, to improvement. You stop pretending to be perfect and start striving to be better. That humility keeps you teachable. And teachability is a superpower. People who think they know everything stop improving. But people who remain students of life keep rising. The most powerful minds are not the ones that have all the answers. They're the ones that keep asking better questions. That's what evolution really means, to keep questioning, keep growing, and keep becoming. Sometimes evolution means letting go of outdated habits, toxic relationships, limiting beliefs, or comfort zones. Because you can't step into a new version of yourself while holding on to the old one. Growth requires release. The snake must shed its skin to grow. The tree must lose its leaves to renew. And you must let go of who you were to become, who you're meant to be. It's uncomfortable, yes, but it's necessary. Change is not easy, but it's always worth it. The more you evolve, the more you realize that every ending was really just the beginning of a better chapter. So, keep learning, not for degrees, not for applause, not for others, but for yourself. Learn because growth feels alive. Learn because evolution gives purpose. Learn because the moment you stop learning, you stop living fully. Don't fear change. Fear standing still. Because the world will keep evolving, with or without you. And the only way to stay ahead of it is to keep growing with it. Be curious, be humble, be hungry. Let every day teach you something new. Because in the end, the world doesn't reward those who complain about change. It rewards those who grow through it. My friends, success is not a destination. It's a journey of constant self-improvement. It doesn't care about your age, your background, your failures, or where you start. The only thing success respects is effort. The courage to work on yourself every single day, even when no one notices, even when progress is slow, even when life feels unfair. Because every drop of effort you give today becomes the ocean of your success tomorrow. Don't let the world convince you that it's too late or that you've missed your chance. There is no deadline for growth. There is no expiry date for dreams. Whether you are 16 or 60, if you are willing to learn, to adapt, and to stay disciplined, your time is always now. The people who achieve greatness are not those who started early. They are those who never stopped evolving. Each day gives you two choices: to stay as you are or to grow into who you can be. And the beautiful truth is, the person you want to become is already inside you. You just have to work on yourself until that version comes alive. Learn when others sleep. Practice when others rest. Believe when others doubt. Because one day, the world will look at your story and call it success. But you will know it was never about luck. It was about discipline, learning, and daily growth. Remember, success has no age. Every sunrise gives you another chance to build yourself stronger, wiser, and better than yesterday. So stop waiting for the right time. Create it. Stop waiting for motivation. Build it. And stop waiting for someone to believe in you. Believe in yourself first. Because in the end, the greatest investment you will ever make is not in business, not in money, not in fame. It's in yourself. Work on yourself daily, and one day the world will work for you.